I'm out with my old buddy today, and guess what? He's gonna got himself a Manticore. So first of all, I'm gonna put the simple settings in for him. All you have to do, Paul, is go into settings, all terrain general, good. Don't touch your ground balance, don't touch that. Check the ferrous volume, 8, good. Stabilizer 1, that'll do. 2 region, all tones. This is the one we've got to adjust. So we start off with the pitch 14 there, which is good. We go across one, volume, adjust this one, so we need to drop this down to 14. So we've got a flat line at 14. Go across one more, edit. We need to drop this one down so it's 15. So now we need to bring this across to where we want the low tone to come in. Did you say the little Romans are about 35?
Yeah, 35.
So we're looking for Romans today, so let's have about 35 on the tone break. And that's it. So you've got a low black there, you've got your sulky teenager at 14, can you see that?
Yep.
And then it goes up, so you've got a real high scream, you've got a banshee there. So you've got sulky teenager, high banshee for your big targets like your Denari. So a bit like being on a family holiday, isn't it? Sulky teenager and screaming banshee.
Had a few of those,
yeah. So that's all you need to do. The only other thing I'm not sure if you've done is audio theme normal. Profile medium, yep, okay. Enhanced, use that if you've got a lot of EMI.
Yep.
So let's just go back up and just check that you've got your keys there set up right. Can you see that? Just there you've got your notch.
Got you.
So you'd be very wise to have that one as a noise cancel.
Yep.
So these are your shortcut keys, so your noise cancel there, because you might use that quite a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
And then that's it, you're good to go. Horseshoe lit up, so it means these aren't coming into play.
No.
You don't really want to worry about the horseshoes because we're on the Roman site, we want to hear the iron.
Yeah.
And that really is it. And the only other thing you have to do is adjust the sensitivity on the field. I'd say on this field you may be looking at around the 18. There you go, simple settings are in, we're ready to go. So what we've got to look out for?
Sulky teenagers. Gonna get plenty of that on this field.
Hunting for the Roman coins, and I know there's minims on here, isn't there?
Small stuff,
minims, but the only thing against us, it's quite high stubble, so we might have to work between the rows. But anyway, let's get going. What do you think?
There we go. I feel confident, very confident. Another one, 25. You want to have a look at the screen there? Look, just on that. A little bit of iron. Let's got that little. Let's have that. This is difficult conditions here today because it is dry, but. One more. Bit of lead.
Tiny bit of lead.
Oh, never mind.
So is that your first signal with the Manticore?
Had a bit of lead, that was the second. First signal was this little Roman just alongside there.
Oh, okay.
28 in amongst a bit of iron, so you had all the sulky teenager stuff going on. Stops in the tracks, 28.
Brilliant.
Down about 5-6 inches. It's a decent sized one.
Yeah.
So no, we're on
excellent.
that. I feel quite confident there.
And this field is where we went on when it was rolled and seeded, so we were having a good day on this.
Yeah.
So now with the stubble, I think it's a bit of a challenge because we've already been over this in ideal conditions, haven't we?
Definitely.
We haven't been on this field with the Manticore, I don't think, have we?
No. Half a mile away, we've done a little bit of testing. You done some.
Yeah.
That's when I first held it.
Yeah.
And just took to it straight away. I just felt it was something a bit special. Hence now we've got one.
Here we go, a little low one, Paul. 13, 12. Yeah. Look at that tiny little hammered, believe it or not.
Hammered.
Tiny little hammered.
Oh, mate. Look at that. Gosh.
That's a good one, isn't it?
That's a good one, isn't it? Is it a little far then?
I think so.
Look at that.
Clean that up in a bit.
Excellent.
Brilliant job.
Getting on fine, really well. Yeah, I've had a couple of little minims. I've had that nice one earlier on, first signal. Well, second signal, but first nice Roman.
Excellent.
Played about a little bit, up the sensitivity a little bit.
You've been pressing buttons.
I tried, but I must admit, I've gone back to the 18 sensitivity.
Yeah.
Just settles it down.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
It's like what we were talking about earlier. The machine doesn't need too much fettling. It's sort of almost confident in its own skin, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just switch it on.
Yeah.
Say, out of the box, I'd say the only thing I'd want to change is that 5-tone to 2-tone, because I think the 5-tone is more of an American sort of setup. They do like the 5 tones because they've got all their different coins, obviously.
And the parks and the land they search is different than our ancient.
Absolutely. All we're really interested in is ferrous, non-ferrous.
Yeah.
And perhaps what we're doing today, we know this site's got low-grade Roman in it, the low conductors.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. And then you've got that setting, you know, you've got that setting that slides up the scale. So you're going to, on the settings you've put in, you know, you get the old sulky teenager and the grunts, but then you've got that sliding scale that goes up. You get a Denari or a bigger Roman, it's going to give a higher...
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, in all essence, I talked about the 5-tone program. You've probably got more tones than a 5-tone with this because you've got the sliding scale, but
that's true.
They kind of blend.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you've got tone breaks for separate tones, you get some coins that fall within the 2 tones, and then you get like a mixed signal, don't you?
Yes,
you know?
you do, yeah.
Which we've had on a lot of other machines. They're like a mixed signal, and they can sound quite horrible.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got like a sliding scale, everything blends and everything's nice on the ear.
Definitely.
And if it's nice on the ear, you're not going to get mentally tired.
Nope,
you know?
you're going to have a happy day and you're just going to go along and do what you need to do.
That's right, you know, you spend more time sweeping the coil and less time sort of trying to tune your detector in for different sites.
Exactly.
But I have dropped my stabiliser down to 0 just to let a little bit more through.
Yeah.
But you're running at 1.
Still on the 1.
And you're finding more than me, so, you know, I've got the old camera syndrome with me at the moment, so that's always a curse.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's no complaints. And that M9 coil, as I said to you before you got this machine, that's the one.
That's the one.
That's transformed it. It really has.
Yeah.
Look at these 2 Manticores. They're both sat next to each other. They're both switched on. No EMI. No EMI. Just silent.
They're like a couple of well-trained shepherds. Sit. Behave yourself.
Ready to pounce. Yeah. But I've got a little plan now. I'm going to go and put that M15 coil on it because I've got it in the bag just there. So I'm thinking, if I can get a little bit more punch out of it, then maybe I can sweep the coil above the stubble.
Skim the stubble, yeah.
I might fail miserably, it might work, I really don't know.
But I didn't hold out a lot of hope here because I know it's difficult conditions with the stubble. Not great lover of stubble, none of us are really unless it's rotten down, but needs must. New machine, and I must admit, really impressed with it, without a doubt.
Definitely, and will that 15-inch coil still find little tiny Roman coins?
Yeah.
It's all testing, isn't it? It's all trying different methods out and feeding it back to you guys. So, you know, it gives you a better idea of what it's all about. So, let's get that 15-inch coil on and give it a whiz. Okay, I have El Bastardo fitted. Let's see if it can pick out some small, low conductive targets. So my plan here is to go not too far above the stubble, just wisping over the top of it. With my extra ground coverage and maybe a little bit more depth, I might be able to sneak out a couple of targets. I think that's iron. I know, I should have dug it. It'd be a long video if I dig everything. Oh, that didn't take long at all. 24. So it should be under the nose there. Let's see how close this pinpointing is. Pretty good, I'd say. That was exact. Oh, what's this? That is a nice Roman fibula. Oh, you beauty. Well done, M15. Literally my first target, can you believe that? A little Roman fibula. That's quite impressive. 26. 27. Oh, look at that dot, lovely dot. Bouncing a bit, so it's not a deep one. Then again, you never know with this coil. And I can see it, look. There it is. Another little toasted, what I believe to be Roman coin. Excellent. Well, I can safely say that this M15 coil finds the small Roman coins, the small targets, so you can go out using that with confidence. It would be nice to do some depth testing with this at some point, wouldn't it? Okay guys, thanks for watching. See you soon.